It's Joe Campizone of CampizoneMMA.com. I'm here with a victorious Jim Miller after UFC 124 in Montreal. Jim, congrats on the win, man.
Thank you.
So the last time we spoke, you told me that you thought the UFC was giving you Oliveria to see if he could tread water, and you planned on drowning him. Can we say mission accomplished?
Yeah, I think so.
Take us through the fight against Oliveria. What worked for you?
You know, we game plan wise, we wanted to pressure him. You know, he's a pretty good striker. You know, he's very rangy. You know, uses his length very well. So we wanted to crowd him and not let him dictate the distance. You know, and dictate his range basically. So. You know, right from the bell, I was moving in on him and crowding him, trying to back him up and close the distance. You know, kind of planning on fighting from the clinch during the fight. You know, takedown was there, took it. You know, he's got a good guard, very active. But you know, it was all predictable stuff. You know, I knew it was coming. Was able to put the fires out before they became a concern to me. And basically just waiting for my opportunity, waiting for him to make that little mistake and to open up, you know, to attack. And I saw the leg, went for it, and yeah, you know, his foot was right in front of my face, so I kind of locked up the toe hold, which was, you know, foolish because it could have cost me the sub. But you know, it was kind of like right there, so I just kind of like whatever, and then realized that the knee bar was just totally there and totally already basically on. So just arched into it a little bit and made him tap.
Were you salivating when you saw that knee bar right there, out there?
Once I realized that, you know, his knee was like in my belly button and his leg was pretty much, you know, he was straightening his leg out to defend against the toe hold. You know, I was like, wait a second, it's like, this is mine, you know. So I'm sure my eyes just got huge, you know, and just like arched into it and took it.
Well, before the fight, in the promo packages, he was saying stuff like, Jim Miller doesn't compete in jiu-jitsu tournaments. I'm going to show him what real jiu-jitsu is. I'm going to finish him. You know, how much motivation was this for you, you know, backstage hearing that stuff? And
to be honest, I didn't hear about any of that until after the fight.
Yeah.
You know?
And that he specifically had asked for you.
Yeah, I'd known that he had asked for me, which, I don't know, isn't that bad. That's pretty much what I want. You know, I want guys to come after me and you know, but I want to be at the top and people hunting for my title. You know, that's what I want. That's why I want the title. I want guys coming after me and you know, really basically making me you know, achieve the best, you know, talent that I can and be the best fighter I can, because I have to. So him calling me out really didn't bother me that much. With him saying that, you know, the jiu-jitsu thing, yeah, I've only competed in 2 grappling tournaments, you know, and it was one was 2 months after I started training jiu-jitsu, and the other was a couple months after that. You know, I've been focusing on fighting and trying to just get in here every day and train. You know, I've definitely, I think I've got a reputation on the mat in here for, you know, not to sleep on me. So, you know, when I go into a fight, if the opportunity arises, I'm gonna take something. I can only think of 3 fights out of 21 where I haven't had a submission locked up. And even one of those, it was kind of locked up. You know, against Danzig, I wrapped my arms around his neck, but it, you know, he rolled out of it pretty quickly, since we were all greased up with his blood. But yeah, even both of my losses, I've locked up subs on both of those guys. So I'm always going for it. I'm always hunting for it, and you know, I think most guys respect it from me. You know, he just didn't.
Now, after the fight, Dana White said in an interview with Ariel Helwani, and I quote, he, speaking about you, is one of those guys, even though he won spectacular tonight, nobody was all over him. Fitch has taken that route, Chuck Liddell's taken that route. He's just one of those guys who has to do it better than everybody else to get noticed, and he got noticed tonight. I was very impressed. When he dropped for that Tank Abbott footlock, Lorenzo and I looked at each other and said, well, that was dumb. And then he ends up pulling off that beautiful knee bar against a serious guy. What do you think about Dana's comments after the fight?
The Tank Abbott part, I think, is pretty hilarious. You know, Yeah, the toe hold I probably shouldn't have gone for, but you know, I can finish them. You know, I don't know. You know, I do need to. I'm not the flashiest guy, and there's still a decent amount of fans that need to see that. They need to see guys, you know, talking trash before fights and all that flashy crap. Me personally, I'm on a one-man mission to get that crap out of here, you know, and to not have to not to be expected to have to do anything like that. That MMA should be just as respected as any of the other you know, professional sports, you know, in America, and it shouldn't be a gimmick and extreme and all that stuff. You know, we're talented athletes. We're professionals. We come in here. We train hard. Most of us 5-6 days a week. You know, and we pretty much train harder than most other athletes. You know, physically, it's more demanding to come in here because part of training is fighting. You know, and fighting bangs you up. So I feel that we should get the same respect as other guys and not have to act and lie and you know, throw on these personas that everybody knows aren't true, but they still want to see it. It kind of baffles me.
Yeah, it's kind of like insulting the fans' intelligence almost.
It seems like it's insulting people's intelligence because, I mean, right at the press conference, I'm sitting right next to GSP and he's saying, "Oh yeah, Josh came up to me after the fight and said, you know, all the talk before the fight was just to sell it." Well, that tells you everything he said was bull. You know,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, Koscheck is kind of, you know, he's a little bit of a dick, but you know, he said all this, you know, said more than he normally says, said, you know, all this stuff just to sell the fights, and people still buy it. Is what I don't get. They should just, you know, we don't need to see that, Josh. Just train and fight. That's what it should be now.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on, is there anyone in particular you'd like to fight next?
You know, I really wanted to fight Soteropoulos. I was hoping that they wouldn't give him the fight right after his fight a couple weeks ago, and you know, I know they're trying to build up that Australian market, and it makes sense to put him on the card, create the buzz for that card, you know, locally, and but I think we're on similar track, and we need to fight. You know, we need to settle it, and you know, basically be fighting for that next shot.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you guys are definitely almost in the same spot, and they're kind of giving him another Lauzon-like opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no disrespect to Dennis Seaver, but it just makes more sense for you guys to be out there for the shot. I mean, you guys have been built up. You guys are on the winning streaks, got all the momentum. It just makes sense, and you know, would like to see you on that Australian card opposite him for the shot.
I want to fly across the world. But you know, if they changed it up and they pulled Seaver out and threw me in there, you know,
you'd be there.
Yeah. And we'll do it, you know, and deal with the jet lag and all that stuff. You know, go out there and try to kick his ass.
Well, 2010 was a great year for you. 4 fights, 4 wins, 2 finishes, plus submission of the night honors at Montreal. Was this the highest paying year of your fighting career?
By far. But you know, it was like by quite a bit, you know. So yeah, I gotta try to do something with it and you know, build that retirement fund.
Yeah. Speaking of sub of the night money, how did you feel about splitting the bonus with Bocek?
He had a great sub, you know. I've never seen them do that, where you know they split it up like that, but you know, still 50 grand. You know,
yeah.
I mean, another 50 would have been just, you know, even more awesome, but it's still $50,000 that I wasn't contracted to make, so I'm not complaining.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Dan's fight. How motivating was it to see him go out there and grab a win before you went out to fight?
I feed off of Dan fighting. You know, I always get more nervous for him when he's fighting than when I'm fighting. It's just a matter of, you know, I don't have control when he steps in there, you know, and when I'm in there, you know, for whatever you want at me, I'm the one doing the stuff, so it's not nerve-wracking for me. You know, I was a bit nervous when he was fighting, and it was a tough fight, and you know, against a very tough opponent. You know, but he was doing well, and he was controlling him, and it's just one of those matchups where it kind of locks up and it stalemates, and you know, it's not the most exciting fight, but it sure as hell was nerve-wracking in the back, you know, because it is so close, and knowing it was so close. So you know, it was tough, but once the fight was over, even before they announced it, you know, I just have that release, and then it's all business. You know, when he goes out and fights before me, I've always done well. I've always fought well that night. You know, so yeah, you know, I just feed off of it, and it gets me fired up, gets me in the mood to kick some ass.
Did you happen to catch WEC last night?
Yes, I did.
What did you think about that, the Pettis-Henderson match?
That was a good fight. You know, they're both tough kids. They have a lot of potential. That kick in the third round was, or the fifth round rather, was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think if Henderson was moving forward instead of moving back the whole fight, it would have been a different fight, and even that kick at the end wouldn't have been as impressive if, you know, he was being more aggressive. I think Henderson lost that fight on his own behalf by moving backwards the whole fight.
So UFC 129 is coming to Newark, New Jersey. Would you want to get on that card? Or do you think it's a little bit too soon in between fights?
That's fine by me. You know, look, if they put me on the card, I'll fight there. If they put me on a card in China or Abu Dhabi or wherever the hell they're going this year, you know, I'll fight there. At this point, it really doesn't matter where I'm fighting, you know, or who I'm fighting. I've been in there enough times that there's not going to be any, you know, momentum or extra nerves or anything. I'm just going to go in and fight. So if I'm there, it's great, because then all my training partners and family and stuff can come.
I'll be there. Well, as always, man, thanks a lot, Jim. Congrats on the win, and look forward to the next fight.
Thank you very much.